Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
And here we go. Another live broadcast on YouTube. TLDR, the Locker Gnome Daily Report. It's actually kind of fun when we seed the link out to everybody, because you can comment on the video page, even if the video hasn't been broadcast yet. And I was actually having a lot of fun reading the comments, including Austin L. Allen 15, who said, "Me neither," which was in response to "Can't Wait" by S4MTW. Lego Star Wars Club 9876 says 3 minutes. So I'm very glad you guys are being aware of where to find the next TLDR Live link as we tease it out. And speaking of teasing it out, I suppose I better tease it here, even though it's not always nice to tease, well, at least other people. You can tease out this link. Feel free to retweet what I just tweeted, or reshare what I just shared on Google+, or you could also reshare what I just posted on Facebook. See, I had it all staged and ready to go. And so you can get this out there to your friends so they can join us for this particular live conversation, unless, of course, you're watching this in a not-so-live capacity. You should be able to comment, and as you comment, I should be able to see what you're commenting on the YouTube page. I don't know if anybody else noticed, but the new YouTube look rolled out, and it seems to be okay, I think. I don't know what everybody else thinks about the new YouTube look and feel, but for me, I think the change has been long overdue, and it's incremental. Things are a bit more polished now, but I don't know if those who have got the new version of the YouTube layout can comment in the live video feed versus those who are using the old one, and I know that they can certainly comment. So we've got a few stories that have kind of been queued up to discuss with you, as you have likely been tracking the news for the past couple of days. We've already been posting most of it to lockergnome.com. Of course, I've been tweeting it out as well and sharing on Google+. But we do have room for questions that you might have. And just like I did yesterday, I started off by answering a question. So feel free to leave a question. I mean, you could leave it. Hopefully you're giving the question out. I am sipping on some live eggnog tea juice. That doesn't even make any sense, does it? Yes, hello, the gamer silent. Thank you for tuning in. I'm seeing as the comments roll in. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the stories that we have been covering as of today on lockergnome.com. By the way, you should subscribe. Did that sound okay? Let me try it again. You should subscribe to the Locker Gnome email newsletter, if only because we're going to be giving away a Sony laptop in the month of December, and we're also going to be giving away not mine, but we're going to be giving away this exact thing, the Sony CyberShot. It looks like it's which model is this one? The DSC WX9. It's hard to keep the model numbers in straight in your head, but we're going to be giving this away, as well as that Sony laptop, which I'll be showing off in a future TLDR after I've had a chance to use it to give you my full impressions and thoughts about that notebook computer. But the only way that you're going to be able to qualify for that is if you subscribe to the Locker Gnome email newsletter, which is free. It's been going out since 1996, and so I don't know what else you're waiting for. Yeah, I guess in many ways I've been blogging since 1996, even though they didn't call it blogging back then. We had CMSs available for us to use, but the price tag for those CMSs was abnormally high, like tens of thousands of dollars for a license or beyond. It was insane. I never even thought about using a CMS when I wanted to get information out there because it just wasn't a possibility. The term open source really wasn't in, I guess, geek culture yet. Certainly had not risen to the position that it currently has. And so, I'm not a developer. I couldn't roll my own. I had to rely on the tools that were at my disposal. But in the blog post that we've written, the 5 critical components of a blog post, so it's kind of like an Ouroboros. Does anybody know what an Ouroboros is? The snake eating its own tail? There are certain things you want to put in a blog post. And it starts with an idea. And you let that idea just kind of flourish. Sometimes that idea is you found a really interesting website or some nice software that you wanted to let other people know about. And then from there, this blog post will evolve. I always like to start out with a personal story. I mean, I guess in many ways the video that I'm doing now, it started with a personal story, how I began with blogging even before it was a word. So when you're creating content on the web, and I know you are. I mean, so many of you email me, and I'm grateful for it. My email address, by the way, chris@pirillo.com. You email me and say, hey, I just started a blog about technology and this. Can you take a look and give me some feedback? So much of what you're creating lacks personality. And I'm just being directly honest with you. And if it doesn't, awesome, then you're doing a good job. But when I read a blog post that lacks personality, I'm gone. I'm floating away. Sometimes you're there to get the information. That's fine. But you can deliver information with a bit of personality too. When I was writing tips and tricks way back when within the Locker Gnome newsletter, which you should be subscribed to by now. Don't make me wag my finger like that. I always made it fun and still got information across, got the links out there. And because of that, that's how my persona evolved. And then, of course, when YouTube became available, it was easier to get my messages out there to an audience that was greater than my own reach. Twitter's helped with that, Google+, Facebook, all of the social media tools. But we still have that universe of content on LockerGnome.com. So when I'm communicating to the people who contribute to LockerGnome, my number one tip is infuse it with personality. You can be getting information across, but make it interesting for the reader. They're going to remember that article, for hopefully longer than 5 minutes after they've stopped reading it. And if you're not creating that kind of awareness, that type of personality around the things that you're creating for your own blog, you're really kind of missing the mark. And then there are other elements. Of course, we talk about 5 critical components, but to me, it's always about you, the writer, the person who's creating the content. And I could say the same thing if you're talking about videos on YouTube. You've got to infuse your personality. Without personality, it's just, ugh. Who wants to watch something that's devoid of personality? Nobody. That's actually how my girlfriend Diana and I met, was because I had a okay personality on video, or at least okay enough. Well, either way, it looks like Austin L. Allen 15 says, like this video, everyone. Thank you for watching it as it unfolds live. And yes, you can like this video. And hopefully you like the tips that we shared if you happen to have a blog on the internet. I've got the personal blog and then LockerGnome.com, which is more like a kind of a, it's crazy, really, how easy it is to set up a blog these days. Yeah, I have been adjusting the mic, or I adjusted the mic a bit after yesterday's feedback. So sorry if it was loud for a second. Hopefully it sounds a little better for you now. But let's rock and roll. So speaking of YouTube redesign, what do y'all think? If you have the redesign, I seem to have it on a couple of machines, not the one that I'm looking at right now, the one sitting in front of the camera's lens. The new design for YouTube, long overdue. I mean, some spit and polish. I think they left some spit in corners. But, I'm sure they'll get to cleaning up. Google, over the past year, has been evolving its design. And pretty soon, they're about to unleash a new design. And specifically, the use of the bar. You've probably seen the Google bar runs across the top. If you go to Google or Gmail or Google Plus or any one of the Google tools, you'll likely see an updated bar real soon. And here's the thing. OX14JF says it's not intuitive. Now, he's either referring to the YouTube layout or the new Google layout. And specifically, this new redesign could be a big mistake. Some people really don't like it, and we've gone in further talking about why this is a big mistake. People don't like change. I relate the story, and it's a funny story, but my parents use Google, and as do most parents these days, they pull up the web browser. I think it was like, this is a few years ago. They pull it up, and it would be like one of the default home pages that comes with the computer, like a Yahoo or an MSN or something like that. My mom would go to the search box inside the web page, type in Google, go to google.com or get redirected, and then type in the query on google.com. So she was just doing it the long way. And so I thought I'd be helpful and say, well, here, why don't we just set your homepage to Google? And it freaked her out. She said, no. And I said, but that's what you're doing anyway. She did not like change. And with Google making so many changes, this could be a bad thing. Now, I don't know if you would necessarily quit Google or YouTube because you didn't like the layout. And as, let's see here, it looks like P. Bonnet 1963 says, Chris, you can hack the new Google menu and see it already. As a matter of fact, we have those instructions for you. I don't know what they are. Like, off the top of my head, I haven't memorized everything. I mean, I can memorize certain things, like my name. I don't even know if I know my own phone number anymore. I just have it programmed in here. People call me. They apparently know my phone number. I am very open to change, but not change for change's sake or change's sake. Oh, the joys of doing live video. You can't go back and correct exactly what I just missaid. Missaid? That's not even a word. So, the idea behind it, I'm trying to catch the comments here. It's difficult to have a service out there that you know and love and to push it forward so that other people can discover more about what's already there. And I think that's what Google is trying to do. And to their credit, I mean, Google's got a lot of things going on. And it can be kind of not difficult to navigate the Google services, but I'm certainly open to getting to things quicker. The issue has been, now Google's got how many billions of services? Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but instead of just being able to one click away from Gmail, Docs, etc., now it's a drop-down menu, kind of like a start menu of sorts, if you don't mind me borrowing that paradigm. And this is also important to note, as we're doing this video live, Way2Game87 says, remember how Facebook got redesigned? Some people didn't like it either. Initially, there's pushback, but eventually, you just kind of get used to it, like everything else. And so, even though it's not as quick and easy to get to a one-click Gmail, you got to click the menu and then click. I think that's going to be, probably the biggest hurdle that people are going to have to overcome if Google doesn't correct this in any capacity. I actually like less clutter on a web page. So it's fine for me to have the services buried one click away. It's right there. So you can try it if you want. Whether you like it or not, it seems to be coming down the pike. So the YouTube site has changed. Google services have changed, at least the way they look and feel. They're not perfect yet. Google's never really wowed me with anything they've done in terms of design. They've even updated maps recently. I don't know if you caught that, but now you can use, I think, WebGL to load maps. Although I didn't find WebGL to load the maps that much quicker. It's okay. Political Clown says, Facebook changes weekly, it feels like. Lol. That's true. It was nice when I opened it up and it was already there, says Racing Jason. And like I said, I think that's the biggest shortcoming. So, on the YouTube front, do you like the new design or not? On the Google front, do you like what they're about to do? And if not, what suggestions would you make to Google? I mean, I think they are listening. They've got the new provide feedback link in the bottom of the page on YouTube now. They've had it on Google Plus, and I'd imagine it's going to be everywhere else too. So they're listening. They're watching for any kind of bugs. And as Noy Hillel reminds us, remember, Google equals YouTube. Derek Weiland says Google might be trying to make it more for the people who have Chromebooks. Makes sense since they will want their own or have their own variant for an OS. Not about quick. And let's see here. I'm trying to catch these usernames quickly. Alexandrov says, not about quick. It's about nice looks. Aesthetic goes a long way. But will there be too much of a trade-off? We kind of look deeper, think about it a little bit, and it seems that Kelly might be quitting Google. I mean, she doesn't work for Google necessarily. She may be binging things at some point in the near future. We shall see. Union Hill Novelty Doe. Chris realized his location is showing. Really? I had no idea. Look at that. It's apparently my location showing. I didn't know I could broadcast my location. That's kind of neat. Yeah. As long as the new layout welcomes partner features that I can learn, for now I'm sticking with the classic layout, says D. Franco Gaming. You know what that is, right? Yeah. Think about it. D. Franco Gaming.
But I thought he was the creative one.
No, but he's got that one too. Oh. Yeah. Sorry, I was having a semi-private conversation in front of a live audience with that. Someone's found the Easter egg for the Nyan cat it's Alexandrozhiv. You can type in a series of characters and it will animate the Nyan cat in a Google chat on Google Plus at least. Hey Chris, you rock, says King Timuk. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like that. Hopefully you like it as well, and hopefully you like the way these TLDRs are unfolding. We're doing our best to accommodate our goals of making you aware that we're creating content for you to take a look at on Locker Gnome, as well as independent videos, and giving you my thoughts on the day's headlines, answering questions as well, including which microphone am I using? The one I reviewed a while ago. I could probably sit down and do the same show every single day and answer the same questions over and over again. Let's try to think of some new questions. New things. Aren't you worried about now that we know your location? Says Apple Paul. Not really. You're welcome to come down to Union Hill anytime you want. Really. It's a fun place. It's kind of hilly. Hey Chris, do you know that most brilliant programmers are in Poland? Not sure about that. I use iMac, says I love TLDR. Best things yet. Oh, by the way, I read your comments. I block a few of you if you're rude. But someone mentioned the fact that they saw me kind of doing this the other day and said that I needed to get it checked out by the doctor. I may be producing too much bile. Well, I've cut my coffee or espresso consumption in half. Now, after becoming the mayor of my Starbucks, I'm just drinking tea, which I'm sure has some amount of acid in there too. So a question here from the live video. Dave Break Z asked, have you used Diaspora? I have not. It's an interesting idea. I certainly feel for the team that's lost one of their members recently. Tragic. But I don't hate Facebook. I dislike some of the things they do. I think the idea of privacy in Facebook is a joke. Even Zuckerberg came out the other day and said, yeah, we realize we haven't done it as well, in the past, but we're getting better. That's you want to talk about an understatement. If you want a private life, get offline. Don't share anything. And, that never was a pain point. I don't put my entire life on Facebook. I share things I want to share, and I'm fine with using Facebook. I don't feel like I need to, put everything about myself there. I'll put it on my blog, chris.pirillo.com. We'll put the content on lockergnome.com. We'll bring it back to the universe that we know we can control. That we, like the team and I, or team and me. Hang on. The team. Me. The team and me. Live editing. It's just so much fun. Editing of oneself, that is. So, Diaspora comes along. The idea is more of an open type of Facebook. It has heart. The idea of Diaspora, they're heading down the right path. But Facebook has not been providing so many pain points that people are just leaving in droves. Or at least, to the point where it's become another MySpace and completely laughed, out of the industry. People are inclined to, as was just mentioned here a couple of seconds ago, STE Will Hawker says, would you say Google Plus is better than Facebook, Chris? They're really two different tools. Just like Diaspora is closer to Facebook, and some people have quit Facebook outright, and they've gone to Diaspora. It gives them what they want. But, yeah, I've been sent an invite to Diaspora, but really if none of my friends are there, why would I join if there's no value there, for me? Oh, well, you can share your thoughts. Well, I'm sharing my thoughts on YouTube or Google Plus or Facebook or Twitter or everything else. It's answering a few pain points, but I don't know if the world is quite ready to jump away from Facebook. Google Plus is not the tool. Google Plus is not anything like, it's nothing like Facebook. And anybody who would make that comparison, after using it for a while, when you think about it, they're going after the same space, right? The social media. They've got a few different value adds in Google Plus, but it's all about attention and time. There's only so much time in the day, and I'm already spending most, if not all, my time scouting for good content, monitoring the community, looking for tools to build it, playing inside of social media or working, and beyond that, where's my time? Yeah, I barely have time to build Lego sets that I've had for a few days now, and I'm chomping at the bit this weekend to put together the dinosaur sets. So either I spend my time doing that or spend my time somewhere else that isn't yet quite as interesting. So are you using Diaspora? If not, why not? And if so, why? I'm curious to know, because you may have a perspective that would make me kind of reconsider, like, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. I'm always open to trying something new or different, even if it's not something that I fully understand. Just like the video and the article we did on Pinterest the other day. I kind of get it, but I don't know if I'm really cut out for putting my content on Pinterest right now versus where I'm sharing it already. So it's a good question, Diaspora. You've got my perspective as of today. You could watch another video I do a year from now, and my perspective could be completely different. I don't think we'd ever done anything actually on Diaspora before, so it was a good question to ask. See, I like the fact that I'm able to do. We've got the live video feed at live.pirillo.com that's there. Although I have to be careful with audio because I listen to Christmas music this time of year, and it's licensed, and I don't own that license or a license to replay that music or rebroadcast the music, so I could get in trouble. I don't know if there's any way I could change that. Does the ticks clock read an 117? Asks Light Switch Larry. Yes, it does. Actually, it just turned 18. It resets at 1, 2, 3, 4, and I missed it the other day. I need to reset it, so at midnight, or I guess 12:34 a.m. or p.m., I have to click a switch because they're all sitting on basically a power strip. So I just go click, click. Brown Tech X is referring to an article we kind of did yesterday. Did you hear that Google basically disavowed any connection to Carrier IQ? Here's the thing. The Carrier IQ flap is not going to go away. And, as we discussed it yesterday, this has become very prevalent for carriers in the crosshairs. Think about the name of the company, Carrier IQ. And Carrier IQ is forthcoming about their relationships with these vendors. And you can download software for your Android device to find out if the Carrier IQ is running in the background. And what are you going to do about it? Well, you could do a lot of things. It was also said that Apple has some Carrier IQ software baked into iOS, but it's not turned on by default. So let me just show you here. And I don't know if I have the brightness turned on perfectly. I'm kind of monitoring the background. So I'm in settings here. And if I go to, I think it's General, and pardon, I'm doing this by memory. General, About, scroll all the way down, Diagnostics and Usage. And then you have the ability here to automatically send or don't send this information. What kind of information? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's where it is. Here's where you find it. You just dive in deeper there into that menu, and then you could look at these specific logs. But, look at this. It's to me, it's gibberish. It's English, but it's a bunch of hex codes and load times, and it's geek. And I don't even care if you see this. It's worthless information to me. Now that doesn't mean that someone couldn't use this for something bad. That is certainly a possibility. I think the biggest issue that I have, and that most people would have with Carrier IQ, is the lack of transparency. That's what this is about. Let the user know. Let the user control. Give them that option. I'm grateful that some of us have that option, and hopefully we will see that option become available to us, especially in certain devices. The Carrier IQ software acts almost like a rootkit. You can't disable it. You can't even see it running. You can't, or at least easily. Most people won't know it's there. In fact, I would say if you're concerned about your safety of your data, I would be more inclined to tell you stop sharing stuff that you don't want to share. That's one way of doing it. I'd be more worried if someone saw something I didn't want them to see, but the chances of them getting to that information, as long as I don't share it, I guess I'm okay, right? Mr. Rankinator says, I don't think it's fair for a company to track your usage of their product without asking you first. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's the problem. And I think a lot of people are having the same issue. This is, if anything, that's the core of the issue. It's not that the software exists. At its heart, it's there for a good reason, to help with diagnostics. At least that's what they say. And not that I'm putting on a tinfoil hat or anything. I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist. But I think it all boils down to a huge lack of transparency specifically between the carrier and the user. I prefer any device that works. What is it? The Asus Transformer reviews are out, and they're saying that great hardware, bad software. I was almost going to say the S word, but I decided not to. Lawsuit. Do they do this on Windows? I have no idea. All right. When I leave the house every year, I usually am wearing a hoodie like this. I've talked about this hoodie in a completely separate video. It's a while ago. I love wearing this hoodie in public because sometimes I find other people who are wearing this hoodie, and we kind of, hey, we bond. Like, oh, you got to say, oh, it's great, it's a great hoodie. People love it. And if people didn't know what it was, they ask, well, where did you get it? And I tell them, I'm like, I got it here, wherever it was at the time. I can't remember. I'm like, email me, I'll send you a link. I can't even remember the short link for the hoodie. It's a Boba Fett hoodie from Mark Echo, and I ended up getting a pretty good deal on it. I always look for good deals when I buy anything. Go figure. So this is, I would consider, to me, this is the #1 hoodie for geeks. Dude, Star Wars. Okay, you may not like Star Wars, that's fine. We have posted, thanks to the brain of Matt Ryan, we have posted the top 5 hoodies for geeks. And if you're not a fan of Star Wars or Boba Fett in general, well, I don't know why you have a problem with Mandalorians, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you just don't like the name Boba. So if you want this hoodie, by the way, go.tagjag.com/Fett hoodie. And by the way, do you guys know how to spell Boba Fett? Let's see if the live chat knows how to even spell Boba Fett. I hope they do. Someone just called, Aaron IQ3 just called me a nerd. Thank you. I appreciate that. Looks like Lego Star Wars Club 9876 knows that Boba Fett has 2 T's in the last name. 2 words. Boba Fett. Do you sell C mugs? Mr. Game 72 asks. Did you say we can? Yeah. We can. Check out gear.pirillo.com. We can add it right away. So we've listed a few other geeky hoodies, including some, what could be considered extreme hoodies, like with tons of pockets in them. And I don't know if that's geeky for you, but honestly, that used to be more important for me. You know, at one time, you want to talk about geek. Oh, I should have pulled this out. Oh, if I was thinking, I would have done this. Years ago, I was at, I think it was with my family, and we were at Disney World, and they had an Indiana Jones thing, and they had Indiana Jones vest. So I bought an Indiana Jones vest because it had pockets here, there, here, everywhere, and it was great because at that time I had a PDA, I had a mobile phone, I had a digital camera. Well, now it's like all in one, so I don't really need that many pockets anymore, although That being said, now that I have the, I'm potentially carrying around a DSLR, the Canon T3i, which you caught the unboxing for yesterday, likely. There I go, kind of, boy. I don't know if this is helping or hurting the, Either way, I do have geeky clothes. Usually, I am wearing a hoodie, and I think there are a lot of geeky hoodies out there, and I don't think there's a better way to show the world that you enjoy the geekier things in life. And as I said, so we've got some suggestions for other comic book hoodies, but comic book hero or character hoodies. There's also, oh my god, there's a Minecraft University hoodie, a World of Warcraft Horde Premium hoodie. Dude, the list goes on. What, Matt, I have a feeling you've missed a few. I mean, these are the top 5, but you guys may disagree with the top 5 geek hoodies out there. You may know of a geekier hoodie or a less geekier hoodie, but here in the Pacific Northwest, we pretty much, that's our uniform, is the hoodie. Because it's just cool year round. I mean, that's just cool. Yeah, cool. That's what the C stands for. Not really. Is that mug stuff killing you? I hope not. Is this strychnine? Smells like arsenic. Batman hoodie, someone suggested. Changing Windows 1 says TLDR or homework. It's a question you're going to have to answer, but hopefully you'll have a little bit of fun. If you were looking to fill out your wish list for this holiday season or a birthday, you may want to check out our top choices for the world's geekiest hoodies. That's a pretty geeky hoodie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I wear that hoodie out there, and people they say that's a fet. That was my best Hank Hill. You were looking at me like I should know that, but that was a horrible impression, Chris.
Yes,
thank you.
That's it.
And thank you, everybody, for liking this video. And hopefully you are having fun doing your homework. And as I roll over my microphone, hopefully it's sounding okay. Super Mario hoodie, J Rocker for life. That would have been a good hoodie, too. Oh, I'd like that one. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to expand more into the geekier hoodie things, because I got some plain hoodies, but they're getting kind of... Some of them I could probably get rid of if I had new ones to replace them. I need more. I think I need more geeky hoodies. Chewbacca Harry hoodie for the win. Ooh. We could go as Wookiees.
It would be nice and warm.
Nice and warm. You kind of have the Chewbacca. Well, no, that's a sweater.
What?
No. Like the one that you like. No. The one that you like. You know, the one that's all furry? Yeah, so that's kind of like a Chewbacca hoodie. Here's another question that came in. Arson XY. So for the past few days that we've been doing TLDR, I can't even say it, TLDR live on YouTube, I'm getting used to seeing some usernames pop up in the comments as they come in live, and Arson XY is one of them. And he's been asking a question a couple of times here today, and I thought I would address it, if only because it's a good question, but it's really advice that is applicable beyond this specific question. Is Mint.com safe? Yes and no. If someone gains access to your account, obviously you're not going to be too happy about that. So if you're going to put your data out there in the cloud, be careful. So Mint.com authenticates with service providers to help give you a zeitgeist of what's going on in your financial portfolio, your banks, your credit cards, etc. And so it's nice. It's very convenient. And they take every precaution to make sure that the data itself is stored in a safe capacity. But that being said, I don't know if I've ever used Mint before. I'm inclined to stay away from those types of services, if only because if one person gains access to that one account, they can learn a lot about you. And that's not a good thing, generally speaking. But you do so many things online anyway, and you are creating a record for yourself beyond a financial record or transactional record. I could look at your Twitter profile, or even if you had a public Facebook page, anywhere where you display public information, even all the way down to your YouTube profile, and get a pretty good idea of the type of person you are. it's not going to give me any specific information about you unless you share specific information. So yes, mint.com is probably as secure as those types of sites go. I have not done an in-depth analysis. My gut tells me be careful, keep those passwords long and private. And actually, the best password you could use is probably a series of 4 words, and in any random order. This apparently is probably one of the biggest ways that, or one of the most secure ways you can set a password. 4 random words together. I had no idea it was something like that, but XKCD actually did a little comic analysis of that. I'm like, huh. So there, if you want to set a secure password, go with that. And you as long as you don't share it with everybody else, then I think you should be fine. So I have nothing against mint.com or financial institutions, at least in this video. It should be safe enough as long as you keep that account safe in your hands. Ultimately, it seems that a human being is the biggest point of failure in anything. That's the funny thing, you set up a password, but ultimately if you share it, well, you're an idiot. That's kind of how it goes. So, let's roll ahead with another article here. I have been online since 1992, and I remember jumping into the news groups and having fun, talking with people, actually typing with people. And every so often, you would get someone to jump in, and they just seemed like they had just fallen off the turnip truck. Idiot, basically. And couldn't figure out why people would be that way. And pretty soon, as the internet began to evolve, a word came about, plonk. You would plonk someone. You'd basically put them in a filter, a ban, so that you wouldn't see anything that they would post. This could be done certainly in forums and in today's social media outlets. But trolls have been around probably as long as the emoticon. And I remember the first time I saw an emoticon back in the day, I had no idea what it was. I'm like, why is it's a colon and a parentheses? It doesn't make any sense. But trolls are out there. And I know we've got some trolls watching, and I think it's a Sisyphean task to try to block every troll out there. And believe me, I could turn a full-time, if I could make a job out of blocking trolls and banning them on YouTube and Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter, I'd be quite well off, because there's a lot of them out there, the trolls. So how do you deal with trolls? We've figured out 5 ways that you might use, in your adventures online to deal with trolls. Of course, the number 1 tip: ignore them. That's what everyone tells me to do. I'm like, why do you it's a troll. Don't feed the troll. Ignore them. I can do it sometimes. I guess other times maybe I'm just kind of feeling randy. Not like Randy. I don't know. I don't even know a Randy. I'm feeling a little, let's have some, fun here. And not that it's fun to block trolls, but, I've got some extra time on my hands. Someone says something that's just off color. I'll do something about it. And sometimes I'll engage them directly. But I would say 9 times out of 10, I'll ignore a troll and just eliminate the possibility of them engaging with me at some point in the future. It's easy enough to set up a new YouTube username or a Twitter handle or any of these accounts. So it's not always easy to ignore someone because they're going to do what they can do just to get to you. And so sometimes ignoring them will make them go away. And that's probably, I would say, very sage advice. The number 1 tip. Another way that I've engaged trolls back I guess it was last week, the Engadget article that I had written, Growing Up Geek, there was someone, I wouldn't call him a troll. He wasn't. He was angry. He was very upset because he felt like that people like me were ruining the internet, which I would say is absolutely correct. And I think that's exactly what I said to him. Like, well, I'm sorry that the internet's not evolving the way you want it to evolve. I'm sorry that, communicating doesn't exactly fit your definition of who belongs online and who doesn't. And I had a dialogue. I didn't, I treated him with respect. He had, cogent points that he brought up. We obviously disagreed, but he was kind of surprised. He's like, I was kind of shocked that you actually responded. And in many ways, killing them with kindness can go a long way. I mean, there's some people you're just never going to reach. They're just immature, and they're not going to go away. And another tip here, and I'll let you, read the article for, more clear examples, is confronting them, trolls, face to face. And in some cases, this can engender support from the rest of the community. So sometimes when a disparaging remark is made, I'll turn it around. And, I'm used to doing that, being Italian, growing up Italian. I'll throw it right back in their face. And I have no problem talking smack. If you smack me, if you push me, just expect to get pushed back. That's all, So sometimes I'll confront them. And there's an interesting story that I don't think I've shared on YouTube. I don't know if I would really had a reason to. Maybe you can remind me if I have. I don't know. This is like video number 3900 on YouTube. Years ago, did just a regular old audio podcast. We still have it. It's still available. But this is all we were doing at that point. And some guy just decided he hated me. And he was blogging about me and writing horrible things about me. It was just so... I couldn't understand what I did to offend this guy. I mean, it sounded like I literally pissed in his Cheerios. And, I didn't think much about it. I mean, I certainly had dealt with trolls at that point. This is a good 7-8 years ago, before YouTube. And didn't think anything about it. He remixed an old song, or he made a new song, but he remixed some of my sound clips from the podcast, and he made it sound like I was saying dirty things, and I loved it. I laughed. I was like, I even wrote a blog post. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but he spent, I don't know how much time working on this song that is hilarious. So I played along with him, but it was genuinely funny. Didn't think anything of it. At some point in the future, I was speaking at a local event, and a rather large gentleman comes up to me after I was done speaking. He said, "Hi, Chris, my name's," he said his name. He said, "My online handle, my blog is this." And he said, "I just wanted to apologize for attacking you. I was going through a tough time in my life, and I don't know what you did, but you did something." I don't think he was laughing. He was very sincere. I came face to face with a troll, and he apologized to me. It's kind of weird. We use the internet, but some of us forget that we're communicating with other people, and these are real people out there. I am a real person sitting here talking to a camera, and hopefully you are listening to the camera and potentially even using the advice that I'm giving you and that Bob has given you with his article linked in the show notes below. You just click it. That's what you do. Hopefully that will help you better deal with the trolls that you have to face in your own YouTube channel, on Twitter, Facebook, or beyond. I hope you never have to go face-to-face with a troll. And if you do, I hope it's cordial. Mine was very cordial, and I'm very grateful that he apologized for it. It created one heck of a story. He was able to do that to move on. I don't know if that necessarily helped me move on. I said, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I understand that you may have been in a tough spot. Just something to keep in mind, with trolls. They're human too, and you don't know if they're having a good day, a bad day. They could be mentally unstable. They could just be doing it for the lulz. You don't know. And sometimes it's fun to play, and other times, you just gotta buckle down and get serious. I think you cross the line, though, when it comes to personal attacks. This is where a lot of my defensiveness in that article of Growing Up Geek came. So, if you're looking for a way to combat trolls, if you have any other advice to add, please let us know. How many monitors do I have? I have a lot, actually. Just here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, well, I guess if you count the TV as a monitor, 9. Surrounded by it. Wow. That's a few. That is a few. We've got, I think this is the last one that we're going to cover today. This is something related to software patents, which is something that a lot of people, especially developers, need to be paying attention to. There's so many good ideas out there, but it's never the idea, it's the execution. People email me all the time. I share my email address, chris@pirillo.com, saying, hey, I've got an idea for something. Great, go do it. Well, I need this, this, and this. Well, good luck with that. It's never the idea. It's the execution. And so many people will fail to execute on an idea in a way that works. Doesn't mean that the idea is bad. Sometimes it just comes down to the actual execution being ghastly. So it's not always about being first. Sometimes it's about just being best and holding off until you know you can be the best, unless you really want to be first. So just today, we got word and have just published an article on LockerGnome.com that states that there's as I'm tripping over myself, I'll just read the title of the article. Software ideas cannot be copyrighted, says EU court advisor. I was trying to say an EU court advisor, European Union court advisor, is basically saying that software ideas can't be patented or copyrighted. And this is a huge deal. The world over. This isn't just something that's in Europe or United States. I mean, it's everywhere. You could be a developer, a programmer, and you've come up with something new and unique, and you've put it together, you put it online, and everyone loves it. Well, then suddenly, some other company looks at it and says, what you're doing right there, we've actually patented that process. You can't use that without paying us a license fee. Well, I can't pay that. Well, then you have to take the site down. But everybody likes it. Doesn't matter if you like the site. We have the patent. And so many innovations are being stifled. So many people who are going for funding for their startup or their idea are getting turned down because patents are already they're already enacted. They're already there. So if the idea comes close to impinging on an existing patent, there's no way it's going to get funded. And so many VCs and angel investors are saying, yeah, this is a bad thing. I'm in agreement. I've probably come out and done a video on this before about why software patents are just wrong. So this could be good news, at least for the fight in the European Union against copywriting software. Imagine one company holding patents, and how much innovation would we lose out on because people were afraid of encroaching upon somebody else's patented idea. Specifically software. Software is so malleable and moldable into whatever you want to make it. And you put this in here and that and there and this and there and all these different processes. Every piece of software is unique. Well, I'm not going to say every piece. It should be unique. You may have figured out a way to burn DVDs, but if someone owns a patent to that, you can't create new software, even if that software runs 2 times as fast. It's more responsive. It's better in just about every single way. You wouldn't be able to do anything with it because of the patent. Someone else has the patent, can't do anything. It's a bad, stupid idea. Great if you know how to write patents and you hire the attorneys to write the patents and you hold the patents, because then you can get into pissing matches with other people who hold patents. But for people who develop, and I would say for the open web in general, or computing, the idea of software patents is something that needs to die, needs to go away. So again, this is the news that's just come in. Software ideas cannot be copyrighted, and this is being said by an EU court advisor. Good advice, and hopefully the European Union and soon thereafter the United States will take that advice to heart and will have better software. True competition in the marketplace. It's a big marketplace too, I tell you what. End of line. There, I had to pull a little now MCP, Master Control Program, Tron, anybody? Any other questions to ask? I'd be happy to answer one more before we round out this hour here of TLDR Live. Thank you, by the way. Oh, we just passed 100 likes a few minutes ago. I must have missed that. because you can like the video when it's live a lot more easily. Let's see here. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll here. I'm looking for some good questions here. They're still on patents, though. Apparently there might be a delay with the live video feed. I'm not exactly sure of what that is. The comments sometimes get stuck. YouTube really, with live, they need to do a better job at making it easier to look at the comments as they kind of float in. It's really kind of hard sometimes to see. Oh, here's the questions. iPhone 4S, that doesn't help. Chris, can you explain what a participle is? It says changing Windows 1. That's funny. I don't know if I should, maybe I should do a series of English teaching videos.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's my community anymore. Yeah, it's the community's kind of grown beyond that. Yeah, participles were interesting in college. Now, not so much anymore. When can we go to your home for milk and cookies? Who do you think I am, Andy Kaufman? Have you ever had to replace your AT 2020 says in Yusha canned? No, I have not. Is it better? I don't know what it is. Do you like the new tube look? I answered that at the beginning of the video. Apparently, you weren't able to tune in for that. Is the Mac Mini worth it? That's a good question, says QVSL. Is the Mac Mini worth it? Asked by QVSL here in the live chat as we're streaming TLDR live onto YouTube. I'm not going to say that it was my first Mac. It was probably my first modern Mac, an up-to-date Mac, or somewhat up-to-date. My previous Mac was an old iMac, the lamp one. I got that as just kind of saying, hey, well, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. It's a little toy. Got to play with different software. But is the Mac Mini worth it? Some would say no. Some would. And you could argue, rightfully so, that no, it's not worth it. If all you want to do is browse the web and check email and play games, and if you want a small form factor, you could probably save a little bit of money by getting another computer and not going with a Mac Mini. That's I'm going to throw that out there. I mean, it is an absolute truth. But is a Mac Mini worth it? That was the question. If you are looking for a small device, very small computer plug-in, that you can compute with, for lack of a better word. If you want to get your first Mac, the Mac Mini is a good starter. Baseline, good starter. Under $1,000, well under $1,000. You can configure it and add memory to it. Change capacity, change processor speed. You can change all those things or configure it or buy it, as a pre-assembled at a store or an online retailer. I'm not going to say it's the gateway Mac, but in many ways, I think it was for me because I thought, oh, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's really neat, and it's as far as Macs were concerned in the form factor, I didn't need much more at that point. And so as I started to use it more and more, I was realizing, this is kind of neat. I really like the software I'm finding, and it's the software that's available for Mac OS X, a lot of free stuff. I was really figuring out how to work it into my normal workflow beyond using Windows. And I had that Mac Mini for a couple of years really before, and I used it every day before I started to replace more of my computers with Macs, largely because of the experience I had. It was a really good experience, and it was so affordable in terms of Macs. Someone say it's not affordable in terms of PCs. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. If you want to just surf the web and check email, no, it's probably not for you. If you want to surf the web, check email on Mac OS X, then yes, it is for you. If you want a Mac that is less than $1,000, it's a good one to go with. Although now I would probably say you might consider getting a MacBook Air right around the $1,000 price point, but then you can pick it up, carry it around, you get the screen built in, the keyboard and everything. Some people run their web server on a Mac Mini. The live stream at live.pirillo.com has been running on a Mac Mini since I started it a few years ago. That Mac Mini has evolved. I still have that one, actually. I've been looking to sell it, but I can't. I don't know how much money I can necessarily fetch for that Mac Mini. It's like a Core Duo. It's not even a Core 2 Duo. The one I've got now, I think it is a Core 2 Duo. It's been a while since I've looked at its innards. I mean, it works. I have not upgraded the Mac Mini yet, although I've been thinking about getting one with an i5 processor, if only to help handle a lot of the video stuff that well, its primary role, its only role is to push out the live video feed. That's what it does. And certainly I'm happy with it. I don't know if anybody wants to make a bid for my original live stream Mac Mini, which is a few years old. The specs are probably nowhere near what you would want them to be. But if you want to have that computer to say, hey, I have Chris Pirillo's original Mac Mini streaming computer thing, I'd be interested in possibly parting ways with it. I'm not attached to any particular computer. If something happens to it, I'll replace it. No problem there. Oh. So, the bottom line is it depends on what you're looking for. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but you've got my personal perspective. I'm making no money on the transaction. Apple actually kicked me out of their affiliate program. Seriously. How's that for a kick in the crotch? Thanks, Apple. Really appreciate it. I think everybody would appreciate that end of the video, too, because they think, oh, you're a fanboy? Yeah, really. Well, Apple doesn't believe so. Here's my answer. What's yours? Try new hairstyle. I don't know. Is that even a question? That's not even a question. Would you ship the Mini to the UK? It says Apple iPoll. I missed the I there. I guess it'd probably cost more to ship than it would be worth, though. Yeah. I think I only had it repaired once. The hard drive crashed, and from then it's been fine. It doesn't really get used for much. I don't know. I think I will have it for £7,000. Sure. Yeah, see, look, thanks for the insight, Chris. It would be my first Mac if I get one. Haha. Well, okay, so it fit in perfectly. That's what I said. If it's a first Mac, if you're looking for the gateway. So I think we've, as I sip the rest of my eggnog live juice thing, I gotta come up with a better word for this. Live tea, live juice. It sounds disgusting. We're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for tuning in, for subscribing to the YouTube channel, for sticking with us for as long as you have. If you're watching this after the fact, hopefully YouTube has licked the audio encoding problem now. Yesterday's was just fine. Again, I would encourage you to subscribe to our Locker Gnome email newsletter. Not a newsletter. It's a newsletter. News. It's not lose. You're actually losing out if you don't subscribe right now. LockerGnome.com, the subscribe form's in the sidebar, or LockerGnome.com/subscribe is a direct form for you to just click, put your email address in there, confirm it, we'll be good to go. Because as I said at the beginning of the video, we'll be giving away at least one Sony laptop. It's a nice one too, like a Core i5, huge screen as well. I'll be doing a kind of a review of that here as soon as I've had more time with it. And then we'll also be giving away the digital camera that I showed off at the beginning of this particular video, but just for Locker Gnome subscribers to that newsletter. So please take a look. Thanks for following me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and beyond. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And we hope to see you in a future live TLDR, Too Long Didn't Read, the Locker Gnome Daily Report. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. You can tune into the live video feed 24/7 at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.